Hi, it's Natasha.
And Khalil.
And we are the co-hosts of
WokeNFree.
Thank you for tuning in to our 133rd episode of WokeNFree. If you've been tuning in every week for WokeNFree Wednesday, you know that WokeNFree is all about being real and honest with each other and you. We talk about everything and anything important to us, you, the world, and nothing is off the table. This week, we are discussing something really interesting, especially if you are a fan of this Netflix show, which is whether your partner would choose you on the new Netflix show, Love is Blind. But before we dive deep into that subject, it's your favorite time of the day. It's called Tasha's Monologue, so I will not make you wait any longer. Let's get started.
Great.
Okay. So if you have downloaded this episode on the Podbean app, we want to give you a great applause. Thank you. That is a wonderful way to support the show, as well as give you the opportunity to join the conversation. If you have thoughts, if you have concerns, if you're like, guys, you have it way off, the only way we can hear from you is if you download the Podbean app so that you can add your comments and join the conversation. So make sure you do that. If you are listening to the show on, say, another platform, say you're not on the Podbean app, but maybe you're catching this on iTunes or TuneIn, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Google Play, SoundCloud, YouTube, any of the platforms we're on, yay to you. We also appreciate your support and love and passion for the show. Just make sure that you're subscribed and followed on whatever platform you're choosing to consume this on. And then, of course, when it comes to sharing, obviously it's caring, except when it comes to the coronavirus. And definitely, please guys, hopefully you're socially distancing yourself and listening to this happily in a room by yourself. But make sure you spread the word out virtually and talk about the episode, talk about your thoughts on it, and invite your friends, your family, the world on Facebook or Instagram or Twitter or TikTok to tune into this. And then when it comes to, hey, I want to holler at you on social media, now maybe more than ever, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest at WokeNFree. And then, of course, guys, we're all quarantined, right? So you have 90 seconds. You definitely have 90 seconds. What can you do with those 90 seconds? Well, you can do a lot, but one thing we would love for you to do is to make sure that you're reviewing the show. So again, pick your platform of choice. If you're an Apple person and you want to review the show on iTunes, if you want to review the show on TuneIn, on Stitcher, on iHeartRadio, on Spotify, any of the platforms you're catching it on, we would appreciate those 90 seconds of your support by just giving us your review, aka 5 stars, guys. 5 stars. Thank you. Now that we have done Tasha's monologue, I think they're ready, Khalil. I think they're ready to really dive deep in this subject for today.
I don't think so. I think they first have to know that all of them are not quarantined, as you thought they may have been.
Well, if we want society to go
some
on,
people are just staying home.
We need to be quarantined, guys.
Some people are staying home, but not everybody.
Self-quarantine, that's called, yes.
Yeah, but everybody can't do that.
Maybe. We'll see.
Not maybe. You know better. Because then you'd be upset then. More upset than you are now.
Need Amazon, guys.
Yeah,
we still
exactly.
need Amazon.
So
careful.
There's necessities, so...
Well, some people.
Think of that.
Like 95% of people need to stay
I don't know
home.
what the percentage is, but...
But, yeah. Okay. Well...
I think what will be more interesting is getting to know us.
Mm-hmm.
So each week we like to share a little bit about us before we dive into the topic for the episode. Last week we shared... which beverage would you rather warm up with, hot chocolate or hot tea? This week we're asking, which place would you rather visit on a cold, rainy day, the library or the museum?
That's a kind of ironic question given the circumstances of life. Given that probably both of those avenues are now closed for coronavirus. But without virus or virus aside, I would say I love the library. I love books, old books, new books, being surrounded by books. If I were to be buried in a casket, I'd want books and like elephants, statues in there. So I love the library. That's my answer.
My answer is definitely the museum because you can't catch the coronavirus there.
Except that they're closing all the museums.
I know.
Yeah, smart.
But you're less but books, you can touch the coronavirus.
That's true.
But museum, at least you're mostly looking. And if you're touching things, you could spray it with your disinfectant soap or your hand sanitizer. And then you could wipe it down with the toilet paper you bought up. So that's what's good about the museum.
Got jokes.
No, that's what's good with the museum. You have the necessities on hand and you can take care of yourself.
Facts you speak, sir. Facts you speak.
The library, I don't need to go to visit because I would just go to pick up stuff. That's the thing.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah. And then museums, sometimes they have more interactive events too, compared to library can have that. So it depends. It depends on the library. I would say.
I love our library. We actually, guys, we live in a town here in Arizona where we have 2 libraries. So like, the universe has really got our back here. It's phenomenal.
Yeah, that's nice.
Phenomenal.
Now I think we can dive into the topic.
Woohoo!
The second hot topic of the year, I think. And what is the Netflix show Love is Blind all about?
So if you've been under a rock and you have not been watching Netflix, specifically the show Love is Blind, here is your opportunity, guys, to learn all about the show. So it's a social experiment where men and women are put into pods and they date each other over a couple of weeks without seeing how each other look. And so after a short time, the participants essentially move forward with their deep and lengthy conversations as they continue to date each other. And it gets to the point where a man or a woman proposes to one of the people that they really kind of develop this relationship with. And then at that point, they get to see each other. They go on a short vacay to kind of solidify the physicalness of their relationship. Then they get to move in together. And then in theory, they're going to be married within like 6 weeks of the whole process beginning of knowing each other. So I and you were both kind of very fascinated by this social experiment, and we knew that we had to bring it to the WokeNFree family. And I just personally want to add that I just adored the show, and I adore Lauren and Cameron, and I'm super excited they're starting a YouTube channel. They're adorable. They're amazing. So there.
Yeah, I think the summary of the show is you talk to somebody over the phone. It's kind of like that. Like you can look at it in that kind of situation because the people only hear each other's voices.
Yes.
And then you have to decide based on what you've been talking about and speaking of if you would want to marry each other. And then at the end, you still get to say yes or no, which is kind of interesting. So I think it's like a test of willpower and guts. Because are you gutsy enough to say you're committing to somebody without even dealing with them in the real world at all?
Well, essentially, yeah. It's the question, the name of the show is true. Like, is love blind? Right?
Even if love is blind, though, there's more stuff that goes into it, as people found out.
Yes, absolutely.
Fine, I love this person, I sight unseen, but now actually, like, living with them is kind of hard, especially when I'm in the regular world and not on the reality show. It's a little different.
Absolutely. So now, I am dying to ask you the question. Would we choose each other in this experiment if we had to go through this experiment?
This is an easy question that you already knew the answer to. And you already knew it, so I don't think it's even surprising. And it's definitely yes. I think we choose each other just based on the things we speak about. It's exciting, so I like speaking with you every day.
Thank you.
And then hearing you on the phone, I would be like, I have to meet this person. Like, if I just heard your voice, I would say, hey, let me meet them.
Okay. And you hate talking on the phone. So
that's the thing.
You telling lies and fairy tales.
No, I would say, but I like hearing your voice, but it's not like that I like speaking on the phone.
Okay, crazy.
So I can hear you through a wall, like a glass wall, like on the show. That's fine.
Yes.
At least I could hear you're vibrating around.
Nice.
Your vibrating voice.
Nice.
And then remember, they put drinks in the pod too, so makes you make a choice faster.
Okay, sir.
They do. They put whatever drink you wanted there is on tap, so.
Nice.
I thought that was interesting, so that makes it easy.
Shout out to the alcoholics of the world. Yes. Yes.
That makes it easy to jump in jump in even though you don't know what you're going to choose in the end.
You're crazy, Khalil. So for me, I agree. I think we would choose each other because specifically your love language is not communication. Mine is. So you would actually have a harder time in the show because up for the point where you don't get to see the people because you love touching and kissing and all that stuff. I love talking. That's my love language. And I do love talking to you as well. And I love hearing your voice. And I love tickling you and like making you laugh and stuff. So I think we would have had a really good time in this experiment. And, to be honest, so much of our love story really surrounds the friendship that we first built and the conversations we had, which, to be honest, led to the creation of the WokeNFree platform. So I think this platform we've built is a testimony to our love and a testimony to the power of a communication. And, I like this show and I hope it continues. I saw that they're doing castings for their second season and I hope that they continue because I think people do get really too caught up on looks initially. And it makes sense. We're visual creatures. We like to look at things and identify what we think is beautiful, what is handsome, what is sexy, ... But like you said, there's so much more to a relationship than looks. There's so much more to a relationship than even the communication, but it's the livability and it's is this person reliable? There's so much that goes into a relationship. I mean,
and are you able to deal with their family? Are you able to live where they live? Things like that. There's a lot of things that come up.
Move away from families. So
no, your person might want to live with family. Your person might say, "I want to live in the dungeon where the family lives above me." So if they make that call, then you have to go with it, or you have to lose your love of your life. See how that goes.
Smart.
See how that's tough though. Do I want to be in the dungeon, or do I want to lose the love of my life? Some people say dungeon.
Say no to the dungeon, guys.
Some people take the dungeon zone, and they're just like, "Oh well,
things aren't that bad."
They said, "Oh well." At least I'm quarantined. That's what they could say.
Nice. Listen, now with coronavirus, it begs the question, maybe all these like online dating websites are going to like be up the wazoo getting all these signups because...
Why would they? Because now people aren't going to meet though.
But they need to just meet online and just stay online.
Yeah, but they'd want to meet in person after a while. But they're less likely to do
October, sure.
No, but they're less likely to even do that. Just think about it, because when you sign up for those, you expect to meet them in person. Now, if you just said it's solely all offline, I mean, it's a solely online relationship, then people would do it. But the expectation is to meet up for a date.
Maybe people might be transforming how they use the site, so... We'll see.
Well, what's going to happen is Facebook's going to develop the VR more, and you're just going to have virtual dates.
Amazing.
Because I don't remember. I mean, I remember Facebook came out with a dating site, but I don't know how it's doing. I never heard anything about it.
I know. Yeah,
once it launched, I've never heard one thing about it.
I know. That's interesting.
We might
see more. Yeah.
Maybe it'll make a comeback now, though. I don't know. But like I said, they'll do the virtual dating in the VR world.
Gotcha.
That would get away from the touching, and the social distancing would be met too with that. So that's an option.
Hey there. Do you have a book that you want to share with the WokeNFree Nation? Are you a business owner looking to share your product or service with the podcasting world? Well, guess what? You can book an ad with us on our Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. We're super excited to speak with you about curating a unique ad that will get your message across the WokeNFree platform. So go to the Contact Us page at WokeNFree.com. That is WokeNFree.com, because WokeNFree is more than a podcast. It's a way of life and offers an innovative way to promote your platform in the exploding podcasting space.
Should more people fall in love in the Love is Blind way?
I believe the answer is yes for me, because I think like I said earlier, we're too focused on looks and relationships, long-standing relationships. I mean, look, we've been doing this for 16 years now. And it's based on common interests or differing interests and common ground, complementing personalities, the ability to rely on each other, the ability to share morals, and the ability to get through rough times together. And most of what keeps people together for a very long time has nothing to do with how you look. So I think that if society is looking to have longer, more long-standing love, then I think people are going to need to kind of confer to this type of approach to love, which is more on the personality. Who is the person inside the body? That is the person that you need to focus on getting to know and getting to love and getting to get along with. And what else? Also another thing I'd like to add is that, we look at ourselves, right? We met each other when we were 18 years old. We do not look like how we looked when we were 18 years old. And sadly, no one does. Looks don't last, guys. But what does last is the memories and the bond that you build with someone. And that is, again, formed on everything else but your looks. So yes, people have got to move this way when it comes to finding better love for themselves.
All right. But the one note you have to think about is that eventually people will be able to choose how they look, like very specifically. It'll be a lot easier. So
you're talking about Gattaca?
No, well that's more down the line. But I'm talking about even older people. They're going to be able to say, I want a new body part, and they're going to put the new body part on, and it'll be fresh.
That is a different episode, Khalil. That's crazy.
But I'm just saying, because people can base off of looks, because you can swap body parts.
We might be cyborgs. Excellent.
You might swap your eyeball out one day.
Suzu.
Noses, mouths. Cheeks, like will this be like
what cheeks
it'd be like Mr. Potato Head. I don't know if you ever had that, but you could pop his eyes out. Like women could put mustaches on easier.
I'd like to eat today, thanks.
I'm just telling you, that's just something to think about. But I don't know if it's our lifetime, but it's possible. That's the thing. You got to keep your mind open. Now, in terms of the question,
si, senor.
I think it's good to not base everything off of looks first, because then you don't get down to the meat and potatoes about why are you like really in love with the person. Mm-hmm. You're based, it's kind of like surface level stuff. But if you have to just hear them and not physically interact with them, and you don't have the distractions of the outside world, it gives you a chance to kind of discover a deeper bond that may exist. So I think it definitely is a great way to start. And it should be a thing where you kind of like do it this way for a certain period of time. Mm-hmm. But at the end of it, I wouldn't say, oh, you guys got to get married. I think that's the worst part of it.
Yeah.
That part that's too extreme.
To me, that was like, a bit extreme,
man. Yeah. Because it's like, all right, now I see you. Now we are physically interacting. And now all the outside distractions come in. Can this really work? And you see, oh, no, this isn't going to really work. Or, you were on your best behavior when we were on the phone. But once we're in person, now you've swapped it around. So I don't think you should get married based off of that, but for dating, I think it's a nice way to start off.
Absolutely. I think the reason why they do that is because it lends for great television.
Oh yeah, it's great for TV.
And most people are deeply indecisive, and so you're going to see people debate, should I get married, should I not get married? Yeah. And that's really why. But I agree.
A lot of drama
I think it should,
based on that.
I think if realistically, you probably shouldn't marry someone earlier than a year of knowing them. I think even that's very quick.
Some people think 6 months.
I know. Yeah, I think that's a little too short. You have to see them in the struggle. You have to struggle with them, because that's where the love is. And if you don't have enough time for that, it's really gonna be harder to make that relationship work. It can still be done, as many people say. Arranged marriages are still happening, so it can be done. But I agree with that.
Here we go, yo. So what's the scenario? It's scenario time, guys. Scenario 1. For the past 3 months, Olga's used a chatting-only site to connect with Polly. This site doesn't allow people to use their real names or post photos of oneself, or risk getting banned from the platform. The only way you can get more information is by deciding to go on a date with the person. Should Olga set a date since she has lots of fun chatting with Polly?
Oh, that's an interesting question, especially with coronavirus. Sadly, no. I would say you're going to have to hold on, Olga, until the world resumes normalcy, for whatever that means, going forward from now. But absent corona, maybe, but not currently. Please, social distancing, guys, social distancing.
Now, what I would think is, as long as this is the only person Olga's going to go see, I think she should set the date, because she enjoys chatting with her, and in person, you don't know what they can find out. They might find out how to develop more test kits for coronavirus.
Of course, that sounds like great date material.
So just in case that's a possibility.
Did we talk about that on our date? Yeah, exactly.
I would want to limit that possibility.
Crazy person.
I just would want to limit the possibility.
Get your life in order.
To help others. So that's what I'm thinking.
Get it together.
It's a possibility.
Get your life in order.
It's a possibility. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, because her name's Olga.
Yeah. Olga and Polly, they work together well. They help out society. They help America get things under control. We don't know. We just don't have that.
I call
bull. Can't say.
I call bull.
I call a good chance of that being a possibility.
Amazing.
Scenario 2. Latoya and Juan met in a bar, ending the night with a fantastic nightcap at Juan's Casa de Amor. Neither of them had an experience like this and decided they should get married. Do you think it is realistic to fall in love with someone after such a short period of time?
So when you say they never experienced, is it you're talking about like in the bedroom or what was
it's up to interpretation. It could be the one night stand type of thing.
Okay. Or that's what it sounds like it was a good lay.
It might have been. So, it was the whole night though. The whole night was great. Everything was great from meeting and talking.
Right? They were drinking.
Yeah.
Okay.
Lots of good drinks.
You probably should decide to get married after not being inebriated.
Oh, wow. That's a pro tip.
I think so. I think you need to have a clear mind just to make sure that the alcohol isn't inducing the wonderful experience you're having.
So alcohol doesn't give you clarity then, is one thing you would say.
Oh, you're telling jokes for today. Nice.
It's 2020 may give you clarity, but alcohol
it's not the clarity
you
need.
All right. See? Nice.
So I think I'm happy that they had a wonderful night, whether that was in the bed or not. I do think they need a bit more time to decide if moving forward with a marriage contract makes sense, guys. This is a legal binding situation, and you want to, especially when you're talking about your finances, your money. Money's not funny. Marriage has, there's serious consequences. It's a very serious relationship you're going into. I think more than one booty call is necessary to making that decision if that's appropriate or not.
So one night's not enough to decide if you should marry somebody.
Nope.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
I mean, can you do it? Can you have one night and have an amazing marriage with someone? Possibly. I just think it's
like an arranged marriage almost, right? You just meet the person and that's who you're with.
There's some people who have great arranged marriages.
And you figure out how to make it work.
The overwhelming majority probably don't.
Yeah, it's a risky thing.
It's really hard. It's just a really hard scenario.
Definitely. I would go for a year, but some people think 6 months is enough.
Minimum a year, really.
I think a year, but some people would make it less. But if it's less than a month, give me a break.
That's wild. Yeah, I mean,
I don't believe
you're really testing fate.
It's super risky. Yeah, it's just you're making it very risky. Mm-hmm. You can wait. You don't need the tax benefit right then, or the tax issue that you could get to.
Exactly.
Just wait it out a year and figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Scenario 3. Ishan has a tumultuous relationship with his wife he married after 30 days. He originally met her on a blind date at FurCon, where everyone is dressed up in an animal costume with human characteristics. Even though he could not see her, he fell in love that night. If love is blind, does that mean this type of relationship can last?
You're telling jokes, huh?
Why is this a joke? This is a real situation.
FurCon, Khalil.
Yeah, well, you remember I think we may have discussed it on one episode, but I just had to bring people up to speed. Maybe they didn't hear that episode. So FurCon is a real thing. You hope you know that, or hope you remember that. Sure. I didn't make up FurCon.
Sure.
I didn't invent it, but it does exist.
Okay. So...
And you understand the premise, right, of what the FurCon is, or do you want me to explain it more?
You can explain it more.
Oh, okay. Well, there's a conference that people go to that love to be dressed up as these animals that that look like humans, kind of. So it'll have an animal head, but all the other features will be humans. And I'm not talking about genitals. There's no genitals on the thing, just in case people get freaky. It's nothing like that. So if you're a horse, you'll have the horse head, and then it's just your regular arms, and you might have a horse tail, nothing else. So you can be a seal, you can be anything. It's not a big deal. The whole point, though, is that they are attracted to this. It's a turn on. That's the thing.
Oh God.
These people enjoy dressing up like that.
And we wonder why we have coronavirus.
It's different than Comic-Con, though, because I think it ignites some passion in them. That's the difference. They see it and they want to hug and do stuff.
Excuse me?
They want to hug each other. They're
Are
excited
you out of your
about
mind?
it. I'm not out of my mind. These are furry cons. They like the furries.
Excuse you.
That's what they call them. They like the furries, Tosh.
Excuse you, Khalil.
Yeah, that's basically what it
You're
is. Though.
losing it, sir.
It's almost. I guess it would almost be a fetish. I think. I don't know if you look it up.
Sweet Jesus.
But because it's only with people that are dressed up though. It's not with the animals themselves. It's just they like that.
Like this
deal.
is getting worse the more you explain it.
I'm just trying to help people out here because if people go to these conferences and there's a big one,
I don't think
know where
anyone's
it's at.
going to be super confused or stumble upon FurCon and think it's something else.
No, they might think it's Comic-Con. They just think people are dressed up in animal costumes for some reason. They're like, oh, I never seen that show. And then they realize it's not based off a show.
Sweet Jesus.
But I think you can be an animal based off a show, but it's not necessarily the case.
Oh, gosh. Of course you made this a scenario.
What, does that make it more complex? The Love is Blind question?
No, it doesn't.
Oh, see, at least
No,
it
it
still makes it
doesn't.
easy. It
Yes.
keeps everything simple.
So, Ishan, is that what this person's name is?
All right, Tosh. You know that's Ishan.
Ishan. Okay.
Yeah.
So, he made a fatal mistake.
He made which part?
In attending this
Even
event,
though-
and then
Wow.
secondly, in marrying someone in this costume, and then doing this within 30 days of knowing that person. These were fatal mistakes that were made one after another. And, well, maybe
Wow.
not attending the conference. I haven't been, so.
Yeah, I don't know if you're into that kind of stuff. I mean, that's up to
as
you.
of right now, definitely not. But
Yeah, that's up to you. That's interesting.
especially if you're telling me people are going to try to touch you. Careful, guys.
Well, I think you gotta let them know that you're gonna touch them. I don't think people
I
are
mean,
just
maybe you
assaulting
can wear
each other.
a sign or something.
No, you don't. I don't think you wear. I think you gotta like blink the eyes of the costume.
Okay,
maybe.
I'm done.
No, I don't know. They might have signals though.
I'm done.
They
I'm
throw
so
up
done.
furry signs. I don't know.
Absolutely not. So again, guys, you can totally meet people in costumes and be enamored and totally excited to have met this person and want to know more and really spend time with them. But you need to really understand what exactly do you love about them? How do you see them being in your life long term? How are they going to fit into your life long term? And then what type of life are you going to be able to build with each other outside of costumes?
So you think that's an issue, like meeting somebody and having a costume?
No, I don't think it's an issue. I'm just saying you have to get past the costume, right? Like unless you're living your life in costume. So
if you dress up as your favorite character
what
every day,
is assuming that you don't live your entire life in costume? So if that is the case, then we have to understand what does this life mean with this person outside of the costume? Why do you love them specifically? What exactly are you getting out of this relationship? Ding, 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 ding.
so you can't just love the costume that they had,
You
like
can
because
buy the
that's like a
costume
fashion
and not
choice.
have the person with it, right?
Because you know what that's like? That's like a fashion choice. What if you fall in love with somebody over fashion? It's like that.
Absolutely, but you still have to have other reasons why you love them, and you have to. It has to be a holistic reason. It can't just be like, "Oh my gosh, you're my favorite furry. I love you. I want to marry you." Like that seems like infatuation, not love. And so,
That's what you got to worry about.
fatal mistakes made. But what do you think?
This one's hard because I think those people that go to FurryCon, if they meet somebody they love, I think they may end up together. But I don't have any information on them besides what I've read.
And you're definitely not allowed to attend. So
No, I wouldn't want to attend there. That's like too crazy for me. I go to Comic-Con because at least you get people that aren't obsessed. But FurryCon is only for the obsessed.
And thankfully, coronavirus is taking out all of these cons. So
it's gonna be tough. That's the problem.
For the next
Not thankfully.
several
That's really
months.
bad though, because Comic-Con
No,
generates tons of money.
We need to do virtual events now. That's
And
all.
Comic-Con might have
Reimagine
generated,
business.
yeah, but it generated lots of love too.
We can generate love online.
Not at the same rate as Comic-Con.
Yes, we can.
You challenge them to that?
Yes.
And there's like different contests you
Now
have.
you don't have to worry about coming to the
contest.
city. You can everyone around the globe.
How do you do
can
contests though?
virtually?
Oh man, I don't know if that's as
The
exciting.
entire world is virtual. Get over it.
Because then people are going to use the deep fake and fake out their videos and act like they had a costume on and they didn't. They're just
Cool.
going to implant their face on someone
Good.
else's face.
Sounds good.
It's going to be like Face Off,
Nice.
the movie.
Nice.
So, I mean, I think it could last. I know you don't think so, but I think there's a good chance. But remember, I'm basing my information off of what I read about FurryCon. So, I don't know how valid it is, but just based on what I've read, it seems like those people are really into it. So, if they find love it may actually last, and love is blind, so it's possible. Just because you're in a costume doesn't mean you don't love the person on the inside, depending on what they talk about. It's not like they go and they just, well, I don't know. They're probably not just talking about their costume the whole time, though. They got to talk about other stuff, too. That's gonna end. It's like, oh, okay, you're dressed up as a giraffe. I'm dressed up as a skunk. How far can that conversation go, though? It can't go too far.
Keep talking and I'll put on a costume.
No, you can't, because then they're going to mandate you go to FurCon.
I have one word to say to you.
You don't. The only word you have is where we're at in this episode.
Yeah. It is the end of our 133rd episode of Woke and Free. It is Woke and Free. Exactly. Guys, that was new.
That was a furry one.
Oh my. This was quite the episode discussing whether your partner would choose you on the Netflix show Love is Blind. So after listening to this insane episode, we ask you to think about, if you're in a relationship, would your partner choose you? And if so, why? Put it in the comments. If not, put it in the comments. We want to hear from you. We want you to join the conversation. Now, will we leave you hanging for what our next episode will be about? Drum roll, please.
On our next episode, we'll be discussing coronavirus versus the world. Make sure you follow us on social media to follow along the conversation. Make sure you tune in next week for WokeNFree Wednesday to join the conversation at WokeNFree.com.
If you want to be a guest on the show, submit a topic for an upcoming episode, or share how you feel on our contact us page at WokeNFree.com. So that is WokeNFree.com. If you want to hit us up on social media, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Pinterest at WokeNFree. And then if you want to sponsor upcoming episodes, if you want a curated ad for your business, your book, more now than ever, it is important to tap into the digital landscape for business promotion, marketing, and beyond. Hit us up on our contact us page at WokeNFree.com.
If you didn't already subscribe, please do, share the episode, and make sure you come back to join the conversation every Wednesday for WokeNFree Wednesdays. Remember, WokeNFree is more than a podcast, it is a way of life. Until next time.